When the first light slips through a thick veil of morning mist, the world feels softer, almost unfinished. And in that softness, a hidden place begins to appear, as if it has been waiting for your breathing to slow down. This is the secret garden, Biwon, tucked behind Changdeokgung in Seoul. Changdeokgung was first established in 1405, and it became one of the most important royal palaces of the Joseon era. What makes it different is not loud grandeur, but a quieter intelligence. Instead of forcing perfect symmetry, the palace follows the shape of the land, fitting itself into the surrounding mountains like it belongs there. That harmony, architecture surrendering to nature, is one reason Changdeokgung was recognized by UNESCO in 1997. But today, we are not here for the throne rooms first. We are here for what the palace kept hidden. A royal retreat. A place designed not to command the others, but for rescuing the self. Imagine a ruler's life for a moment. Every word recorded, every gesture observed. Every decision heavy enough to change someone else's fate. In a world like that, silence becomes expensive. So the secret garden is not simply a garden. It is a survival space. As we enter, the sound changes before the scenery does. Footsteps soften on earth instead of stone. Wind becomes more audible than voices. Leaves speak in layers. The garden was meant to feel like nature untouched, yet carefully protected. Not manicured like a show garden, not theatrical like a stage, but deeply alive, like a forest that remembers. There is a reason people call it a secret. Not because it is small, but because it is intimate. It is where the royal family could rest away from the court's sharp eyes. Ahead, a calm body of water begins to catch the sky. A pond so still it feels like the world is holding its breath. Beside it stands a pavilion, light, elegant, and patient. In places like this, architecture doesn't try to dominate. It tries to listen. A pavilion is not a fortress. It is a pause. It invites you to sit, to look, to notice what you usually rush past. A ripple, a dragonfly, a shadow of a cloud moving across the surface. Now imagine this scene in autumn. The leaves turn gold, then ember red, then deep rust. And the pond becomes a mirror for the season, quietly dramatic without trying. This is the emotional power of the secret garden. It doesn't impress you with size. It changes your pulse. Somewhere in this rear garden stands a giant tree, said to be over 300 years old. Think about that number. 3 centuries of storms. 3 centuries of winters. 3 centuries of human stories passing underneath its branches. Kings, scholars, attendants, gardeners, faces forgotten, footsteps erased, yet the tree remains. And when you stand near something that old, your worries shrink. Not because they disappear, But because you remember, everything moves. And you will survive the movement too. The palace beyond these trees is the world of duty. But here, the garden teaches another form of power. The power to soften. The power to recover. In royal life, luxury wasn't only comfort. It was control, over time, over people, over appearances. But nature cannot be controlled in the same way. You can only learn its rhythm. And perhaps that is why rulers came here. To remember what it feels like to be human again. To be small in front of wind and water, and to find relief in that smallness. As you walk deeper, you notice how the garden is composed like poetry. Not one loud, main attraction, but many gentle moments. A bend in the path. A clearing of light. A pavilion framed by branches. A pond framed by silence. And in every scene, the message is subtle. Slow down. Look longer. Breathe softer. Changdeokgung's story holds glory, yes. But it also holds pressure. And pressure always creates a private cost. The secret garden feels like the answer to that cost. In the modern world, we rarely have a space that truly belongs to quiet. Even our rest is noisy. Even our beauty is rushed. But here, the beauty is not asking you to perform. It is asking you to return. Return to your senses. Return to your pace. Return to the version of yourself that doesn't need to prove anything. And maybe that is why this place remains beloved. Not because it is royal, but because it is deeply human. A hidden garden built behind power, yet dedicated to peace. Before we leave, take one last look at the water. Notice how it doesn't hold on to anything. It reflects the sky, then lets it go. That is a gentle lesson. You can carry beauty without clinging. You can feel deeply without drowning. Thank you for walking with me through this secret garden today. If this quiet, cinematic journey helped your mind feel lighter, please subscribe to continue the Timeless Classical Beauty series. More palaces, more hidden places, and more moments of calm. And until next time, keep a small secret garden inside your day.